Scattered thoughts are costing you money. What in the world is going on? This past week, it's almost Easter time, or it is Easter time season. And maybe it's because I had to change out of my clothes in the closet. Now I'm like, I need to buy more clothes. I need to go shopping. I need to decorate my house. I need to get flowers for my deck. I need to fix my deck. The whole list was going. I told my husband, I said, man, I got a whole list of things I could be spending my money on. Oh, but because of a budget, it keeps me like, well, you had this much, even though you want this much, you got to live here. And the scattered thoughts. Do you have a giant list that you want to spend your money on? Do you have scattered thoughts? Do you ever figure out what's going on with your values and then kind of realign? It's also the first of the month and first week of the month. So I always like to go, all right, where am I at? Where am I going? And am I in alignment? Are you in alignment? So scattered thoughts could be costing you money because if you keep getting distracted, I did find a new iPhone game to play on my phone. Distraction. That's not helping me progress in my business. But and I actually deleted one. I actually dreamed last night that one was a problem, so I deleted that this morning. But are your thoughts keeping you from where you need to go? I even bought this dress. It's kind of loud and proud. This is like how my thoughts get scattered. It's very loud, but that's okay. Um, Something happened with my thoughts Monday. Monday morning, I was doing pretty good mentally. I was happy. You know, most people are not happy on Monday mornings, but I was good. And then all of a sudden, something started to annoy me. And then it turned into a negative attitude. And I was grumpy for about an hour and I had to combat it because I realized what was going on. There's good thoughts and there's evil thoughts. And the evil one had, I feel like one of its imps that's annoying showed up and was like offering me a plate of cookies. Would you like a cookie? Would you like a donut? Which that is the devil because I don't need one. But I feel like I was starting to get annoyed and he was coming to me like, isn't this annoying? Don't you agree that this is annoying? And it was looking for agreement. And I needed to be aware what was happening because when I realized what was happening, then I started to combat it. So instead of just letting thoughts flush through our brains that just show up, we're not riding in the car and we're not just whatever hits our windshield is fine. No, we need to be like Wonder Woman with her power bracelets. We got to fight things off sometimes. We don't need to just let some negative thoughts camp out in our brain. You know, what is that saying about when a bird, it's okay if the buzzards come and visit your head, but don't let them put a nest there and camp out. Yeah. So it's important to be aware of your thoughts, and scattered thoughts are not helpful. Now, if I had allowed this negative thought come in and it said, well, do you want to agree with me that this is annoying or a problem? And then the next level of that is, well, you're better than that, or you should not listen to that person, and starts discrediting it. I'm like, whoa, what is happening? If I don't clarify that, clean it up, it's going to cost me money. Think about it. When you're at work, if you are annoyed with your boss and or your coworker does something to you and then you start going, that creates gossip. You've got a bad attitude. When the boss says, hey, I need you to stay late, or could you take on a new project? No, I don't want to take on a new project. Give it to that person. This is not even a pleasant place to live mentally, but it happens. And maybe you're listening. Sometimes I will choose poorly and I'm listening to some kind of news radio or listen to some YouTube negative story. And then I go negative and I'm like, ugh. And then I'm like, yeah, what's wrong with this picture? And I'm agreeing with what is offered to me. And then I show up at my next sales meeting that I'm trying to talk to a prospective client, and I'm negative. And then they go, gosh, Julie sure is negative. Not a good thing. I've got my email here. Let me know what you think about that. How have you seen some negative things float into your mind, and how do you combat it? So I was thinking, what is like that? Because, I mean, this is how my brain works all the time. I have a lot of freedom and flexibility, so I get to choose my schedule for the day. I get to choose who I want to call. It's not like those call centers that they don't have a choice. It's You sit down at 8 o'clock and the calls just come in. And when that one's done, the next one comes in. No, I have a lot of freedom in what I do, which I love. But I was thinking about air traffic controllers. So I looked it up. Did you know that air traffic controllers at one in 1 hour of time in the United States, there could be 5,000 planes flying through the air. Oh, and I could never do that job. Don't ever want to do that job. But they have a ton of things floating around, running through the skies, and there's 21 sectors, and then from there, I'm sorry, there's 21 zones, and then there's different sectors within the zone. And from the time the plane's taxiing with the passengers loaded, flies around and lands, it hits, I think, 5 different groups of people. And what is their job? So let's think about how an air traffic controller manages the skies and then how we could manage our thoughts. Because without having good, clear alignment and direction, who knows what you're going to let in and who knows what kind of problems that's going to be. But I promise you one thing, scattered minds will lose money because without a goal, without a target, you're just shooting arrows everywhere. So an air traffic controller gives instructions to the pilots, reviews the weather, talks about flight plan info, and enters it into the computer. And they give ground clearance, they instruct speed, the rate of ascent. While they're in flight, they're listening and navigating bad weather. Sometimes there's a congested sector and they need to reduce turbulence or just rearrange. So sometimes they need to go to a higher altitude and sometimes they need to go to lower altitude. So think about like a higher altitude. Sometimes you need to think, let me just sit, meditate, check in with God, go, God, what's going on here? And let me tell you, God knows the truth. He is truth. And so sometimes I saw something on the internet and I go, and I was like, oh, okay, gosh, that's doesn't pose this person in a good light. I looked at that person. They were kind of saying the same thing as the other person. I was like, ugh, I'm not even going to listen to you two. I don't even know what y'all are talking about. You're kind of talking about the same thing. So sometimes you got to go up higher and just check in like, what's the truth here, God? And sometimes I lie to myself. So I need to get clear on what's true. So I got to go, what's true? So I need to go higher. Sometimes I need to go lower and get very practical and just start taking action and don't worry about my extra thoughts. Then sometimes you need to get some more direction, right? So these are all the things that our different air traffic controller does. Now, what makes a good one? This is where I think it's so fascinating. Air traffic controllers, they are able to memorize the pattern where all the planes are. They like, okay, we got a plane up there, we got a plane right there. Do you know your situation? Do you know where you're supposed to be? Also, think and visualize in 3 dimensions. Do you know this is real world? This is the spiritual world. This is the meta in the conversation that I'm dealing with this person. Are you able to interact with the different dimensions? I got it real clear when that little evil thought came into my head and goes, would you like a cookie? Would you like to agree with me? No, get out of here. I don't want that. And when I was able to be aware of what was happening, not hormones, not needing a snack, that was something with ill intent. Get out of here. Then also, air traffic controllers can gather information from what they hear and make decisions quickly. I went shopping and I did buy this really busy dress. And my husband says, I was too busy, take it back. I'm going to just go for it. My other girlfriend said, just wear it. It fits. Yay. Sure. We're just going to wear it because it fits. That's the key. It's really inexpensive too. So I was like, it's a deal. Nobody else wants this busy outfit. But when you make poor decisions, it can cost you more in the end. And you need to be able to think quickly. Do you know, are you in tune with your gut when it's like, yes, no, or I'm not sure? The I'm not sure, don't take action. Yeah, do not buy things unless you are loving it, which might be the situation here. This is more practical purposes. The other thing is you need to know your geography of your own airspace. That means your identity and your purpose. So if I am meant to work with 20-year-olds that are starting out to help them invest $100 a month and give them a tax-free retirement that has zero loss in the market, then I need to focus on that group. That doesn't really mean I need to target my efforts to a 40-year-old, but I need to work with the 20-year-old that I'm supposed to work with. And if I'm supposed to work with salespeople and help them figure out how to leverage their extra commission versus just blowing it on a boat, but they can actually leverage it to have more investments in retirement, more financial freedom, then I don't really need to go focus on geriatrics, right? Pick one, pick a lane and stick with it. So when you know your identity and your purpose, and my purpose is, I want people to have backup. People don't realize the value of saving. So I'd like to help them with that. And then you need to read and interpret symbols. That's what they're able to do. Be aware of what's happening in our times. Process the data. It's okay to have extra thoughts, but synthesize it, right? And then pass the test to become one. So you've got to study sometimes. You need to educate yourself in the area you need to be working in. So when you know your geography and the field of your own airspace, study, learn some things. So I just love that correlation between the air traffic controller and how to have a good mind. Oh, memorize and position of aircraft. I had a blank on that one. Memorize scripture. That is the truth. I mean, I believe that's the truth, and it is so solid. Putting the truth into your head so that you can spit it out when it's needed. Because when you can speak the truth and you can have love, it can come out as needed. So memorize the position of your aircraft. Read the word. Memorize it. Think and visualize in 3 dimensions. Be aware. Gather information so you can make quick decisions. Know your gut. Start testing your gut. Yes, no, I don't know. Skip the I don't know. And then know your geography of your own airspace. What is your identity and purpose? What are you called to do right now in this season? Read and interpret symbols. Pass the test to become one. What are you studying today? That is me, Julie Gardner, Rise Up Wealth. Message me. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know. I'd love for you to just tell me what your identity and purpose is so I can cheer you on in that. And capture those thoughts. Don't let them be willy-nilly, like wild birds flying around, but have some control. I know this is really for me to take notes on. I'll watch it later. But this is for you to figure out, how can I be more effective, more strategic, more aligned, and not just waste my money? Capture those thoughts, and then that will bring you more wealth as you zero in on where you need to be. I'm Julie Gardner, Rise Up Wealth. Go do great things.